What's going on, guys? My name is DJ, but you can call me Speedy, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you 5 tips to help you climb in Marvel Rivals Ranked. I know it can be super frustrating to climb, and today I'm going to give you some tactical tips, but also just some mindset tips to help make sure that you are climbing. So just jumping right into it, tip number 1: learn a few characters from each role. Having at least 2 characters from each role that you can confidently play can be super helpful for climbing ranked, especially if you're solo queuing. This is obviously because you won't always have teammates that are willing to switch to a character in a role they don't typically play or like to play. So even if you have the best stats on your team, you have to put your ego to the side and just swap to a role or character that you know will ultimately help your team win. You also likely are not the best player in the world, so odds are you can't solo carry every game on one character. Be willing to switch even when you feel like you aren't the problem. And having a few characters from each role you're comfortable with playing will help you do that. It will also just make you a more well-rounded player in general because you'll have a better understanding of how to play each role and how you can help your teammates who are playing one of the other roles. Tip number 2, learn how to track ultimates. In this game, ultimates and their proper usage are the difference between winning and losing. Your team can have the better stats, but if the opponent times their ultimates better and played the objective better than you guys did, they will win and you will lose. So understanding when certain ultimates are coming up is very important. Also, identifying when a character may be setting up to use their ultimate is crucial as well. This can be difficult at first, but eventually your sense for this kind of thing will get better and better the more you make yourself conscious of it. Support ultimates are one of the most important to track because a lot of support ultimates in the game are defensive, or at least the best ones are, meaning they aim to negate the impact of your team's ultimates. So, a tip for tracking support ultimates is if a fight seems to drag out long without anyone dying, or especially your opponent's tanks dying, it is very likely that their supports were able to charge up their ultimates if they did not die. So make sure you're paying attention to the kill feed. And then using this knowledge to your advantage means that if you know their Luna Snow most likely has her ultimate, your team is going to have to bait her ultimate or bait hers early, or to set up one of your other impactful ultimates. So what that could look like is maybe your Groot uses his ultimate as a bait to force their Luna's ultimates, so your team can simply wait her ult out and then go in with another ultimate to win that fight. Also, a good tip for ult economy is try not to use all of your ultimates in one fight. This is going to screw up your team's ult economy and make you more vulnerable to getting snowballed by the other team because you depleted your major resource way too quickly, and now they're going to have ultimates up when you don't. You're not going to be able to defend their ultimates in time, and you're just going to get snowballed and ultimately lose the match most likely. Tip number 3, understand how to set up for the next fight. When your team takes an objective or wins a fight, you should not have your entire team standing on the objective just waiting for the next fight to happen. You give your opponent a big advantage when you do that. After you win a fight, you should be setting up your team in the most advantageous positions to win the next one. That means DPS setting up on off angles or on high ground, tanks pushing up a bit further or holding an area of the map to make your opponent take a fight that's less advantageous to them, where they can't take angles or high ground. You should always be looking for ways to advance your position, and just sitting on the objective waiting for the next fight does not allow you to do that. I don't care how much faster the cart moves when there are 3 people on it. That does not matter if you're giving your opponents a chance to group up and take angles on you that will ultimately lose you the next team fight. Tip number 4, Stop blaming your teammates for everything. This one is a little more mindset based, but stop blaming your teammates for everything that's going wrong, even if you're right. I know this isn't easy, and even I sometimes still have a hard time with it, but you are much better off if you stop trying to figure out what your teammates are doing wrong and just focus on what you're doing wrong. Because that's right, believe it or not, you are not perfect, and you also make mistakes. You have absolutely no control over what your teammates do, but you have all the control over what you do. So you need to figure out what you can be doing to have the most impact on the game at every given moment. If you lost that 1v1 with the opponent's Hela, it's not because your supports weren't healing you, it's because you missed too many shots. Or you took the fight in an area that was at a greater advantage for them than it was for you. When you start to look at your games like that, you will actually improve your gameplay rather than just queue up and hope you get better teammates in the next game. And then tip number 5, last but not least, take responsibility for your own improvement. This is similar to the last tip, but it's honestly probably the most important tip. You have to figure out what you could have done better in every single game. Not just for your losses, but even in some of your wins where you know you didn't play the best, but your teammates were able to just pick up the slack. The best way to do that is to find time to go back and watch your VODs. Go to the specific moments that you died and watch it play out from your opponent's perspective. That's going to help you realize how you should have positioned better or how many shots you missed in that 1v1. Watch the big team fights play out, and if maybe you missed out on an opportunity to peel back for one of your opponents when they got dove by a Black Panther and taken out early in the fight. Overall, just make sure you take responsibility for your own improvement. Be more upset at yourself than you are at your teammates, and I promise you will climb much, much faster. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you found it helpful. Please comment down below if you have any other tips that I might have missed or didn't cover in this video. Also, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I'm assuming you found it helpful. So if you can, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It's a free way to support this channel, and I'm really looking forward to growing so that I can make more content like this for you guys. So I know it doesn't seem like much, but you hitting that like and subscribe button goes way farther than you may think. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.